been a back-and-forth game across both of these maps so far, but at the end of it, our teams have tied up at 1-1, with CLG taking the most recent map here on Cobblestone. Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the DreamHack ASTRO Open, live from Denver, and we're getting ready to jump into our third map here now between CLG and the Renegades, the winner of which will get to move forward into the semifinals tomorrow.
Who's going to win, Blue?
I don't know, Yao. It goes to Inferno to decide it, so it's all up in the air for me.
Yeah, it feels super up in the air at the moment. I have no idea exactly who's gonna take it. Who even feels more confident than the other one? That's a really big mystery for me. I think both these teams wanted to, like, really desperately wanted to end this in 2-0 if they could, and because they couldn't do it, because Renegades couldn't get anything going on their CT side of Cobble, which we thought they still had open, they now have to play on Inferno, where things might be kind of like a little weird. You know, get a little strange. Yeah,
it is definitely going to get. It's probably going to stay very close, like just right off the bat. I don't think either of these teams has a huge advantage over the other going into this third map now. I think they're on relatively even footing, and so a lot of it is going to come down to like these individual aim duels and the way that the executes pan out too on the relative T sides.
Yeah. T side obviously going to be the most important thing. We know that Renegades do better at map control than CLG are. CLG like to go right from spawn to execute. Because of that, Renegades and other teams will be able to push and get map control versus them a lot more easily than Renegades than you can versus Renegades, who at a certain point were quite a lot like CLG, where to do a lot more execute heavy stuff and not think about their default quite as much. But we've seen a shift in that where they've added layers to their game, and you know. And I think that Inferno is very welcome to teams that do really give a lot of respect to map control and take their time working on getting top banana and getting top mid, which can be very difficult, but can be very fruitful. And sometimes you don't even just get the map control, you get a kill or two. And if you get a kill or two, that's all you need. Even a 4v4 situation is very favorable for terrorists on Inferno. The rotations are just so important on this map, and they just are so long from A to B.
And you can see now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to jump into our final map of the series. It's going to go to Inferno to decide it. Let's find out if Renegades will be able to come back after dropping Cobble, or if CLG are going to be able to now push through now with obviously renewed energy after taking control of Cobblestone. It actually looks like we did have a pause, I think. Oh, okay, I see what happened. I think one of the teams picked the wrong side after knife, so.
Yeah, it looks like CLG accidentally picked T side. On this map, oh man.
Here we go, I think we're switching it.
He's still rubbing it in. Ethan's type exclamation stay.
There's a good banter all around. But yeah, I think they're trying to switch them really quickly so that we can get started with this. So that'll take about a minute or two, guys, and then we should be good to jump back into the game. But yeah, a little bit of a mistake there from CLG. Thankfully, they should be able to correct it and resume the match.
Very excited to get this game started, obviously, and that's why it happened. But you know, T-side's not that bad on Inferno. It's nice. They've opened it up quite a bit. I mean, the discussion about old Inferno versus new is kind of a tired one, but it is nice just to touch on the fact that they have opened up the map quite a bit and made it just a little bit easier in a default to like look on banana, go to top mid. A little bit scarier for CTs. It's not quite as scary for teams to play on T side and look for map control.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're getting most of these players back in and out. Just have to resort things out really quickly. To update you guys on what's going on here, then we'll get back in. It looks like we have some Australian fans in the crowd there. We're showing it.
Yeah, the boys. I need to see a shoey.
Yeah, we need a shoey ASAP.
Yeah, we need a shoey in Denver. Come on.
We'll come back to you later for that. We expect to see it, though. Yeah, so Inferno, and that means, again, so now we can talk a little bit more about what exactly we're going to be seeing from both of these teams, too, now that we know where these teams are going to be starting off on. Renegades will jump on T side first, and of course, CLG will be jumping onto the defensive here first. So we're going to have to look to the setups. Obviously, Banana's going to be very important for both these teams, so keep your eyes on, who's going to be in these very critical positions, as sometimes the bad placements of those players can lead to, for the T's at least, very abusable positions on the map where they can constantly get access to the site. We see this a lot in online matches, and we're just going to have to hope that, well, for in CLG's case, they're more prepared for that, jumping back into it.
And it looks like we are about to get this game started. So here we have it, map 3, and oh, they actually have to.
They had to redo the knife and everything.
Oh, I think we're good. Yeah. So map 3. Map 3. Map 3.
Map 3 indeed, and it looks like it here. We just had to get the last couple players readied up, and And we'll be good to start it off here, folks. Once again, apologies for that delay. That was, like we said before, for those that are just joining us and are wondering what the heck is going on, we had a mispick after the knife, so we're just making sure we set that up properly to start the game off. And here we go. Now it's live. Now we have the right teams on the right side. So CLG, once again, starting off on defense, and Renegades will jump over to the T side. Let's jump into the map and find our third semifinalist.
All right, let's get into it. Let's see what the T's have in store for us. 3 of them with the bomb have worked their way out to mid, and it seems like they might not commit to anything quite yet. Bomb gets dropped immediately. B control gets tested. The USP is distinct advantage at this distance, as well as the P2Ks. I'll leave those P2K users out for sure, and there's a clean headshot to prove it.
I'll knock out NAF right at the start here, so an early advantage established for CLG. Now they just have to look to build upon it a little bit more here, as the Renegades will slow their own roll a bit. They're going to pull their players back towards the bomb. I think they're actually probably going to end up committing probably fully onto Banana. You can see ASTRO going in, checking every single spot as he does this, to make sure they can get this control so that their teammates can stack up and now get ready for the all-in execute here. They've got a couple smokes. They can actually block off CT and Garden if they want to, which will pretty much restrict most of the vision. We'll find out where exactly the second player is hiding out at. And yeah, he is actually really far back in Gardens. If they threw that smoke there, that's going to really restrict vision and let Renegades just walk right in and get the easy plant, and that's exactly what they'll get.
Oh.
Bit of a boost up here from Ricky, and they're not watching for it, so he's allowed to get away. However, as you know, that position is basically fire a few shots, you have to get out of there. You're a dead man quickly, and it seems like the dead men are actually going to be the Renegades, unless Nifty can hold here. He can't. He goes down. It's JKS low, and CLG, with just a brute force retake, are going to be able to get back into that site, and as such, they'll take this pistol and go up 1-0.
That was almost a little gross. I feel like the retake was, I mean, great for CLG, but for Renegades to like re-aggress like through the smoke that they threw down. It's one thing to catch your opponents off guard, but they're not going to have much utility. You know that it's a pistol round. It's pretty 50-50, I feel like, when these guys are coming around the corner. And you can see the fight going either way, but if you don't push, you have the advantage of sitting in spots like Emo and Quad and waiting in pool. And from there, like cross-firing, playing headshot angles, I feel like your odds are much better, and that's where the advantages and the post-plant come down to. So why make it a 50-50, I wonder? What was the call there?
Well, now after that is going to put the Renegades back on the back foot again here. Now, they did obviously get the plant, so we're seeing a very light buy in the second round. In fact, no one buys anything at all. They'll try their best to get a second plant here as the primary goal of the round. If they can't get it, it's no big deal. They'll still have the third round buy activated anyway.
Yeah, everybody from the Renegades, after that smoke goes down at bottom banana, have taken map control in top mid and in halls. They've cleared it out, kind of. And they actually are wrapping A. Kus doesn't have pressure put on him. Gets riddled with bullets, but stays alive.
Nifty still trying to hold out there, too, and get that spam done to at least get 1 or 2 kills so far. They've only found the one. Nifty getting a nice amount of damage off onto the player library, but no kill, unfortunately. So everyone except for Finesse stays alive. CLG get that 2-0, but now they're going to have to go up against the gun round, as Renegades will buy in with 5 AKs and pretty limited utility.
There are certainly maps like Overpass where if you play on the site box and at the truck, there are only a couple spots you can stand in. Inferno is not one of those maps. Like, you want bracket control for a different reason. You want to be able to influence rotations. But on anti-ecos, playing very passively and holding back as far back as you can is perfectly safe. Double pit setup, 1 in arch, making sure that nobody can go to CT. Like, that's all you really need to do. And that's all they did. And they made it look simple, because that is how simple it is. The last thing you want is for a CT to get overly aggressive on an anti-eco and Inferno.
Yeah, now we do see Renegades propping up pretty much completely over on Banana here. They keep one guy back, and that's going to be Nifty to watch in case anyone from CLG tried to get aggressive in apartments, but it's not looking to be the case. CLG remaining relatively passive here, even though they aren't tested at all in the early round. And now we just sit back and wait for the Renegades execute to come in. They'll be smoked off, so that should bring it down, or waste it away for a couple seconds. But no, it looks like they're actually going to challenge with the smoke. JKS gets a great position too, and gets not only the first kill, but the second, completely clearing out the site. He still even takes a forward spot now. The smoke will move in there. Finesse trying to spam through it, but he's at low HP. He's got to be a little bit careful. He'll end up backing away, and I believe that's going to be a full save call from CLG, as Renegades just took 2 dominant control there with that double entry.
This is why. So if you have bottom banana control, you can spot from there. Even if somebody dies, the rotate can come in fast enough that the CT smoke can't stop them from getting into construction or getting them from being able to flash in and push through and try to fight. If you get the 2 kills while players are on site, there is no time for rotations from the CTs, and that's why, you know, the Ts know pretty quickly that the CTs are not going to attempt to retake this 3v5 #1. huge man advantage, and then just the long distance they have to travel, knowing that the T's can be in any number of locations. It's just not worthwhile. So on top of the B side just being hard to retake in the first place, even with everybody ready to go. So very nice entries from JKS. And not only did they win that round, he makes it so that none of his teammates have to die whatsoever. And over top of the smoke, dropping the hammer on him. That nice headshot. An easy round. They do it through, you know, they do it through a smoke, which is not something you want to see, especially in the middle of the round, but it ends up working out. You hope, though, that Renegades have a little bit more depth to their play, though, in store for us. Nice nades.
Just destroys Azur's health pool. It's amazing he doesn't actually die from that. So he's going to have to survive with 10 HP for the rest of the round now. The CT's continuing to push that pressure forward even more so now. They're probably going to go for the deep banana smoke to make sure there's no actual chance of them getting up for control of banana here. But the problem is with still 2 players stacked on it and only a 3rd player now rotating over towards A that has left that site incredibly weak in its defensive setup.
Yeah, it looks like they did a good job influence rotations. Now they have these players coming over. So here we can see Finesse and Ethan. If we look at the map, like we see the CTs have crowded around the site. Cutler's in a great position in pit. All the terrorists are here, ready to hit A with nobody at B, and Ricky can even fast flank. Oh,
okay.
And we get an entry.
Onto a teammate, though, as it's going to be JKS taking down Azur. Unfortunately, a little bit low on HP there. And the CTs actually managed the site relatively well. They still have the player in pit, but now through the smoke is able to find him. Takes him out. They're still at a disadvantage, though. And enforcing this plant, they're both going to be stuck together on the site. They believe they have enough time to go for the reload, so they'll be able to do that. Now it's CLG, still looking for the wrap to crunch on this. JKS and NAF will have to hold here. They can't risk pushing back out into the sidewalk to try and transition over towards pit or any other area of the site. They just have to hope they can play together here. Molly going underneath. NAF will clothesline the first player, but then gets traded out. And they should already know where JKS is at. It's just a matter of taking him out of the round here. He's trying to win the initial 1v1, but he can't even get that done. Ethan will win it, and it's CLG back in control with a 3-1 scoreline.
And I love it that they out the spawn, they have B control, it's perfect, they hold on to it, Renegades don't test them, they punish them for not working on that map control, and they get the rotations over to A, so if Renegades hit A, they have very little chance to win the round. Like, that's where the round is won as far as I'm concerned. And just how we talked about on Cobble, how like CLG weren't playing that game in the first half quite as much, well now they're the team that's doing it more than the Renegades, so I'm liking what CLG are doing here. They seem like pretty strong. I'd like to see them do this more, and if that's the case, you know, Renegades need to answer by not just being subservient to a smoke or a couple of Molotovs, coming back later on and retesting them, making sure that they can't just play down on banana and have to go back into the site. This round, they know that it's a relatively low buy, can expect something potentially fast. They're playing the triple porch setup, made famous by Virtus Pro and Old Inferno, where you have a guy on the top of the porch, so you don't have to watch for the arch wrap because he can see over smokes. It's a pretty cool setup.
Mm-hmm. So now we do have the T's, despite having apartments control, deciding to not push forward upon that. Since they don't get aggressed this time on banana, they'll be able to easily walk up at least to the half-wall point. Getting beyond that, though, is going to be a little bit more tricky for them as we see them trying to line up smokes now to go for a quick execute here, but I believe they'll clear out old car area first before committing to that and actually tossing in these smokes. Here we go. Now they've cleared it. They are going to be moving in. Ricky, I believe, was able to spot one before being blinded out there. Molly onto the ground is going to do great damage and hold these players back. You can see it. 3 players at right around or less than, in some circumstances, 10 HP. Really good job done there by CLG on doing damage, and Ricky through the crypts now able to take one out, and then gets another one completely through the smoke. Has no idea he's there. Still takes him down anyway. Now Azur really going to have to do some hard work to save the day here. He's got a good lineup to find that first trade. Misses the second one because he crosses too quickly. It also has to be responsible for banana too, so it's a big task being put in front of him. It's actually not going to have to worry about banana all that much. But now the CTs get close to the site. They're ready to push back in. Renegades is trying to essentially DM this for the win here, but as Azur pushes forward, he didn't realize that Cutler was still sitting back, hiding around the circular area of the church, and now, with less than 10 seconds left, CLG actually might just wait this timer down. Naf's been spotted. He gets one more kill, but is taken out. He did have some time left, so he'll get the losing bonus, but still, what a shutdown from CLG.
Yeah, you were watching those health bars go down, like 4 different players from a single Molotov. That was a value Molotov if we've ever seen one. And we didn't see actually any kills come of it, but that's all they needed to make it so that Ricky could come in out of construction and spam. And this was perfect. Like, so that one player sitting on the bomb was one that got hurt by a Molotov, and then lines up another kill at quad. Beautiful stuff. just off of the knowledge of the map, you know, 3 kills in that afterplan situation, and another round that CLG win just out of spawn. They don't Renegades didn't do a good enough job baiting out nades at all. If you have to go through a smoke, a Molotov, and full nades, you picked the wrong site. So they're punishing them for that, and it's been a really easy state of affairs for CLG, honestly.
Yeah, and this time the Renegades do end up with pretty much a full save here. So already dispatching of 1 player, but also 1 trade for them so far. However, coming around this rap side. Okay, I was going to say it's the most difficult part, but they're making it work here right now. Getting inside, Ricky trying to shut more of this down. And there we go. It's an absolute shutdown. Coming out for the man himself. Ricky getting 3 kills there. And CLG now putting it up to 5.
Looking absolutely solid. I mean, I feel like they just let those 2 kills go down just to make the round more exciting, or just let Ricky shine more with the spray, and he cuts him off at the pass. No getting around into the site for the Renegades, and that has been a problem for them. There has been no, they've been able to plant at least 3 of the rounds. It's just getting wins in the post plant is obviously a huge deal. Now money's tight. No. This is when they can only go to movies on Tuesdays.
And it looks like we are going to be seeing them, for the most part, try to prioritize the A hit here. They've already got apartments control. They're going to have boiler control in a second here, too. JKS, he can't push down long haul just yet as it's been smoked back out, but as soon as they get mid control, he's probably going to be good to move in, as that player up on balcony should either drop down to the pit or he's going to be out here up on the balcony, which it looks like he's doing now. So that clears out long haul. There's no risk anymore for JKS to push up at least to the doorway.
They're making stuff up as they go. Right now, they've taken lane control, but Cutler's up here on halls. They got one in sight. It's good crossfire. No actual rotates though, because CLG haven't worked on getting information this round, which might play into the hands of the Renegades. But they're going to need an arch split to make this really weird.
Nifty actually finding the first entry this time, taking down Finesse. Cutler, oh no, he falls off before he can get that second kill. So he's actually going to end up going down to Nifty himself, and well, Cutler, oh, he's dead. A lot of his other teammates fall there too. It's so much so, in fact, that CLG don't have a chance at the retake, and they're just going to end up falling away to call for the save. So finally, after many, many rounds picked up there by CLG, we do see another one put up on the board for the Renegades.
Yeah, they do bust into the site with the lane and hall split. CLG didn't have the extra rotate over because they didn't go for banana control this round, and yeah, that's what they get for peppering it in. Again, Renegades didn't test anywhere else. They didn't test both sides of the map in the same round, which is a big deal, because that means that's free map control CLG could have had. But but they did still do a good job versus the 3 players that were in the site, group exploding on them and making sure to have like very favorable engagements. Only losing a single player on that round. So you could say that even with an extra rotate, maybe they don't win the round still. Found a good way to get in between the counter nades, though. I think the other criticism here is that if ideally they go for an arch split, and there's obviously Cutler falling into pit when he could have finished that kill off at halls, and it maybe would have got trained out at that point, but at least could have got a little bit more done.
Yes, but now as we move into this next round here, CLG still having a buy for now, but already being reduced quite a bit. Finesse specifically having to go down to a CZ. Everybody else having a rifle at least to play with, along with relatively decent utility. So they're still strong. They're still able to easily shut down the Renegades if they get put into a bad position again. However, the Renegades now having found their strength, we'll have to look to see if they try to abuse it in the same way, or if they're going to shift things up a little bit. At the moment, looking just for apartments control again, and the 2 players that were looking for banana control, now we're going to head over towards mid connector here. So
yeah, actually, okay, Ricky just took a peek at banana, got some info, and it looked like Ethan wanted to hightail it out of there, which would have been a good read, but they didn't follow up and push down further. And then, you know, they still have to be wary that, you know, if you don't have the right nades, you can't just get info on banana all the way down every time. But this could work out pretty well for the Renegades, who kind of set it up for the same thing we saw last round. Pressure on Finesse here with the CZ.
As he's going to be holding essentially as soon as those players that push their mid-choke point are ready to execute, they'll move in. Oh, even a support from Kusta here too, but Finesse falls short. JKS will knock him out. They still have that position from Kusta. It's going to be Cutler that strikes next, however. He's able to find one from within the pit, but he goes down to JKS, and JKS just going wild here. He swings out to find Kusta too. Just 2 remain. It's those B rotators that get here in time this time around, but still have to look for a way to get back into that site, and they've already used all their utility. It just has to be a dry repeat to get back into the site through porch side. And Renegades have presence watching for that. A player in the pit, more specifically, is going to be checking for this now. Ricky takes him down, though, and now evens the fight back up. It's just low HP players they have to deal with at this point. They find one in the emo corner. He gets a trade, but it's Ricky to shut it down, and Ricky. It gives the round to CLG.
No, another 2K. The retake is good. One thing we've learned in life is never go in dry, but they make it work. So Without the nades, Renegades in their spots. They're seated into their corners and relied on definitely just hitting their shots individually, but couldn't do that. Good job separating them. But JKS, the absolute manimal from Halls, not only gets this kill, but peeks out and, whoa.
Wow, that looks way better now that we get to see it from his perspective.
Did that just happen?
So he spams one player, switches targets, and then goes back to finish him off later on.
Oh my God, some fantastic nades right here, and the push down mid just to rub it in. CLG getting in that ass.
It's just JKS left alive here now in a 1v5 holding alt mid control. Obviously not really going to be attempting to go for the win here, but at the very least is going to try to make it a bit more expensive from CLG as they have utterly shut them down in this round, leaving no room at all for a comeback. There's that first kill from JKS. They'll actually give him a decent amount of control of the map, to be completely honest here, at least in the direction of A. However, these footsteps through the halls are going to be very loud. Finds the player on the site, but misses his chance for the free kill. Now has to push him directly, as he will be essentially just trying to waste time or get the kill in his own right, which is exactly what he does.
Nice, well done, CLG. And you know, Inferno is one of these maps where, as we can see, where banana and mid converge. There's a lot of room to throw nades out of spawn safely, and then when you do that push down, that's why we see that strat come out once in a while, and it's really such a big win for CLG because they did it with just a couple of UMPs as well. The upgrades were not that serious, and they barely had anything to lose, and it's so demoralizing for a terrorist on Inferno to not be able to get out of spawn or just have to like hang out and alt and like let the CTs do what they want. You never want to have that happen.
Yeah.
Those are rounds you hope that come through because you expect to win them, and then when you don't, that's just bad. So I like this. I like just them just imposing their will on the Renegades.
Renegades themselves are going to be completely broken for this round, as they did just take their first out of 4 pauses. So it's just going to be Glocks and I think 1 P250 sitting there on Aza for this round. And we'll have to wait for the next round before they can strike back against CLG, establishing a dominant lead, and now they're just getting aggressive. Cutler able to push all the way out to the window, gets away with a free kill. Does get dinked, but it's only for 70. It's only for like 20 damage, so he's still at 77 HP and good to continue the fight.
I like that CLG not getting too crazy. They started with some calculated aggression, but then fall back to their spots. Like Cutler not looking for another kill is very, very like prudent for his team. And you can very quickly see such a strong lead with a little bit of overzealousness fall apart just because one person feels very like just infallible.
So we'll have to take a second shot there. They knock out the Opera at least, but Ethan and Cutler will shut down the last two. They're making quick work of the push from the Renegades, and now pushing them onto a new gun round.
Oh man, it's Renegades got to figure this out, man. What do you have left in the tank? 6-round discrepancy, a lot of rounds in this half to make up for it.
I think I just heard someone angrily yelling "comeback" right now.
Comeback.
I think that was from that Australian crowd right there.
Maybe he's one of their wives.
So let's see if they can do it. Let's see if they can come back on a round like this. This will be the round to do it. They've got the 5 AKs built up again. No op to be seen just yet here. I think the money's still a little bit too drastic for them to buy into that. But with the 5 AKs, they can certainly work something. We've seen that entry power from JKS. We've seen Azure come alive in this series in both of the maps. This map, though, it's been a little bit quiet here, only with 1 kill so far in the entire map.
Uh-oh. Kusta gets flashed off his angle, takes a shot that falls off. Ustilo took some damage in the process, and see, I like this. Okay, from Renegades, they've cleared out top mid. Kusta will get aggressive again, which is a really good quality that he has, because he's not afraid to do it. And did just take a peek at Boiler, didn't see anything there. But now Renegades are moving back to B. They're going through the motions. And this is very important because Ricky is here at top banana. If they get this kill, he's isolated. That's a big win for the Renegades. They trade out 2 at top banana, and now they potentially have the site, even with a default and having players left at A.
They're actually going to mind game this a little bit as the bomb's going to go back up to the mid choke point here. They had everyone rotating in, so actually the A site's going to be wide open. It turns out to be a better choice, as they would have just barely made it to the site before the CT arrived. They probably wouldn't have been able to plant, nor would they have had good positions. So it was slightly risky if they all tried to rush over towards B and take positions there. Costa finding Nifty trades this back a little bit, but they haven't even realized yet this is not even the site it's going towards. They're going to find out now, but Renegades have such dominant positions being taken here. And CLG is going to have a rough time rotating back over if they even attempt to do it, which it doesn't look like they are.
This is what I'm talking about, man. Like, all you got to do is get top bracket control, top B control, and then you control rotations, and you can do whatever the hell you want. They get that kill at top banana, they pull CLG players because Renegades have been doing nothing but committing to the same site they get the opening kill at. And it's making them way too obvious. Now CLG have to go through another layer of thinking. Do we over-rotate in a situation? Do they still have players left over on this part of the map? We haven't taken top bracket control, and all the A players have rotated over to B because they thought this was a site that they were going to have to go to. So the Renegades win like a very good round. I'd say this is important that they've shown themselves that they can do it, and it's important, I think, for the future of the half that they pretty much keep this style of play up if they want to go into, even if they want to do executes. You're going to need, you want halls control if you want to execute on A. You want top mid control if you want to execute on A. And for B, you don't want to just execute from banana and run to top banana. You got to clear that stuff out. It's important.
AF and Ustillo essentially buying out in order to get their rebuy going, so Renegades' economy is still in shambles here. If they drop this round, yes, they can probably force buy one more time, but CLG has shown a pretty good track record of handling those with relative ease so far. So I don't think they would be too worried about that. They're mainly worried about these gun rounds here, which we're going to see starting off again as Renegades take it very, very slowly. They've got apartments control. It looks like they're going back to where they were able to score some of their first rounds here. It's actually just this default A execute that they've been looking for and has been working out pretty well for them. If they move in, though, a nade is going to do some massive damage to Nifty. Hits him for just under half of his HP.
Yeah, T's receding once again. Like to see this. Kusta's not in a position to get re-aggressive. Is that a word? Not in a position to re-aggress.
There you go.
And it's actually Cutler to do this falling out of pit. So they are going to look. Is he still going to take this fight? He has an opportunity. Cutler's going to shy away, and so he's not going to think about this too much. They know that he's a made presence. And top banana gets smoked. They're finally baiting out utility. This is a retake utility. This is site hold utility. And look at this. Bombs outside apps, but Finesse is rotated over towards B. This is what the F I'm talking about, Renegades.
Some good strats from them, and it's been able to bait out quite a bit from CLG. We're now going to see them starting to commit a little bit more towards A. Finesse actually getting scared away from the site after he sees this smoke, but no one else follows it through. He'll end up actually just pop flashing through. Kusta's going to catch the first player moving back in here, so CLG still with two players on the site. They're ready to defend it. Unfortunately, the pit player goes down almost immediately, and Kusta will be smoked out, so won't be able to see anyone crossing the site. Naf even holding inside of the cubby there. While he only kills one, he does massive damage to a second player, bringing Finesse down to just 2 HP. And once again, making it a very, very difficult retake for CLG. But it looks like this time they are going to attempt it, wrapping two through porch side quickly. Nifty is positioned to shut this down, but the smokes are going to make that difficult. He actually doesn't get a whole lot of vision at all here. He's panicking a bit, looking everywhere here. JKS is going to help him out, though. Picks up that first kill. And it looks like actually the CTs will back away. Rick A gets one more kill, so it looks like he's still going to continue this fight. And with his teammate already having pulled way back over towards B because he has the op in hand.
Oh, man, I don't know. There was an opportunity there maybe for him to go for it. Finesse obviously being very low is part of the reason he wanted to hightail it. And I think if we look at maybe the money, losing those 2 rounds in a row starting to hurt their economy just a little bit. They do have some money left over. Finesse is going to be able to not only drop, but drop a couple of people if necessary. So they'll have another healthy go at it for sure. And, you know, Renegades are really starting to game them hard. Like, they're doing stuff right for once. I'm not sure if they're learning as the half is going on or if they were just being a little bit sloppy to begin with, but I think we've started to get a real game on our hands now. Now the difficult part, and this is with the highest level, this is where the expanding brain meme reaches, you know, 8 arms and tons of lights and stuff, is when your team does a great job clearing out both things, and the CTs have to pick an opportune moment to call out which part of the map they haven't actually committed to, right? That's when it's high level stuff. That's when 2 teams do everything properly. Then it comes down to a sick read from the CTs, right? Some calculated aggression with a great flash to retake top mid, for example, which CLG haven't been doing. They've just been peeking it with one player. Maybe if they retook the entire thing, they'd have a fast rotate over to B or have more info when it's not actually B. And the same thing on banana.
So after CLG using their first pause of the map here, we jump right back into it. And from the Renegades, they're going to look for options to continue to bring back this scoreline to a more palatable number around here. Ethan's, though, is going to be able to pick up the first kill. He gets very aggressive on banana, lining up that kill and only taking a little bit of damage in return from a Molotov that was tossed onto the ground. So really good stuff from him early on. Gives CLG back a 5v4. A nice 5v4 to play off of, and this may cause some panic for the Renegades here, or cause them to do some odd things that CLG would be able to punish.
Yeah, solid opening frag. tons to work with. Renegades a little bit on the back foot. They don't want to give this up easily, that's good. But Ricky has a huge advantage now. Oh, it's actually Kusta on the A site. Ricky doesn't have an op, which he normally picks up for the B site in a double op situation. But I think because they lost the last couple of rounds, he didn't have that opportunity. And now he's jump spotting to make sure not to die. They're hoping in that window that that Renegades do decide to go A, and if not, I guess they have a fast rotate. But Ricky's right now, he's in a tough spot. He's in emo. They're low on grenades. He doesn't have a teammate here to rotate to him. Yeah, and his rotate's going to get smoked out as well.
Yep, he's stuck here in emo corner with nowhere to go, essentially. So we are going to see rotates moving in, but I would assume CT smoked out. He holds for the first kill. Now he's going to look for more of that.
Oh
yeah,
my
he gets
God.
picked. That just destroys his aim. So
what the hell do you do about that?
he's still always going to take him out. It's a 4v3 still, so CLG will attempt the retake because they got that earlier kill. So thankfully, at least a 1-for-1 trade happens. But they've been smoked out entirely here.
Yeah, no, they can actually go. They have a big flank too, who's there probably going to try to wait. No trade comes out. Justillo is having an easy time here, letting his recall reset completely to go for kill 1 and 2. Flank kill finally comes in though, 2-on-2 situation.
Getting very low on time, however. In fact, it might not be enough time for them to actually get back into the site. They give it up again. Kusta's going to back away from this engagement here, just hold it CT, gets at least one more kill, making it expensive, but we're getting so close to the end of the half that that's not really going to matter much in the long run here anyway. Finds the kill, now he's able to hold in a corner, keep himself alive, and now he even goes out and challenges Cutler again to find the kill there. So that works out better for the Renegades, as now they've got one less gun to deal with in this upcoming half-buy from CLG.
Yeah, no gold for you to find. He gets absolutely denied. That was pretty interesting. That's two places where the bomb explodes, everyone dies. You don't typically expect to see an engagement there after the explosion. But important that NAF was able to hang on to the op. Really good round for the Renegades. CLG, on the other hand, decided to go for the gamble stack because they were kind of low on utility, and even though they had Ricky peeking over at Banana, might have been better off with Kusta doing that if they were going to leave him alone.
Cutler tries to push forward right down mid this time and is going to be immediately countered out by Nifty. They had more players ready to do the same thing, but after he doesn't get the kill, it seems like they're going to hold the remainders back, ready to continue the fight should Renegades be ready to execute here at any moment. And they have the op train on B. Kusta's going to be here, but he's instantly taken down, and it's actually a bit of a miracle that Ethan escapes as he was sitting right next to him there. Finesse completes the kill, and he was working so hard to get there earlier. And we do see Nifty trying to hold in a bit of a rough situation, but he will end up going down. Justillo moves out to quickly trade that, and it is just Ethan left alive here now as that last man standing in a 1v3. I'm sure that they might try to look for the op drop here, but it's not going to be too big of a deal if they let him get away with that, as we're going into the last round of the half next here.
What do you think the K stands for in his name? Kellogg's?
I don't know.
Kelly?
Might be a...
Yeah, maybe a Kelly. Karen?
Yeah, I don't know what that would be. Hazard is going to shift over here, look to hunt him down. He's checking it very, very slowly here, which...
Kusta?
What?
K for Kusta.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Big fan.
It's like the HLTV profile.
#1 Kusta.
Yeah. Fan of Kusta. Oh, no. Hazard a little messy there, but gets the...
Send him to bully prison.
Put him in the box.
You know, pass it go, sir.
Having a little fun here now that Renegades are coming back in such a dominant fashion too, but at least CLG will get one more full buy here at the end of the half to try and end it well.
And they have. I mean, no matter what happens at this point, CLG are going to look at this half and think, well, we could have it a 13-2 to work with. But and honestly, it's not just because they messed up. It was because Renegades started playing way better. They started doing so much stuff more properly, and just wondered why that didn't happen earlier on. It seemed like CLG's brand of CS made a lot of sense. But then Renegades started working it, testing things. See, split it up already in their default. Such a great job so far, but this round could be big.
Oh, wow. All right, so there's two very good kills from both of those players. Renegades is through the half wall onto the head of Nifty, but just as good of a response coming out from NAF. And now he picks up the op that was dropped by Nifty. And they just bring this down to a 4v4.
Yeah, they did the triple porch setup. Renegades don't know that, but these rotates are super far away. We don't even have an arch player to help poor Ricky out. He's all alone.
NAF's not necessarily paying attention to the spindles right now, though, so...
They have enough. They have all the proper utility to flush him out of the spot, too. Oh, sorry, it's Ethan. the wizard, though. He is really good by himself.
Moves in here now. He's going to be able to take down Naf first there, as we saw, getting that nice position, able to abuse the fact that his opponent there, Naf, was not actually checking his position by the crypts. So
everyone's got to learn those, got to have those spams down if you're going to play for the after plan.
And now, once again, Renegades end up in a 3v4 post-plant situation. Last time, they tore this to shreds because the two players just tried to directly push out of this exit here. Azur, once again, ready to stop that, but he can only get one kill this time. JKS moving in also falls, so he's still looking for a 1v3 clutch. Doesn't even have to kill everyone, just has to delay it. Yep, as they're running very, very low on time. Trying to check everything. He gets the first kill from Nubox. He's going to get pincered, though, from the other side, and I think, no, they're backing away from it, but it's because Cutler has the kit. He jumps onto it. Did he get it in time, though? It looks like he might have just done it, and yes, they do get it. So it's CLG that pick up a 9th round at the end of the day. They do secure their lead slightly more so. We don't see that full comeback from the Renegades, but it's still a 9-6 half in their favor.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to have to wipe sweat off their forehead as Renegades got themselves on their feet and were thinking with their brains and not just trying to go to the first thing they committed to every single time. But it's very nice that CLG, after such a solid start to the half, aren't just one round away. They made it a 9-6. That's a little bit more solid for them. I'm sure they'll feel happier with that, and they get to move on to T side, which is it's fun. Like T side, there's more room for individual plays than there used to be. It used to be pretty much a nightmare from that aspect, but Renegades at the same time also get the joy of playing the comfortable CT side.
And Cutler once again showing up in this map as he's leading the charge for his team at 15 frags at the moment. Ricane Kusta not too far behind that, however, at 14 and 12. Meanwhile, on the Renegade side, I mentioned this before, Azur only having 1 kill at one point in the half there. He ended up with 4 at the end of the half, so he's still struggling a little bit as he's been definitely one of the main players for the Renegades in these first couple of maps, but has fallen off quite significantly here coming into this map now. We just haven't seen all that much from him.
Yeah. This is where you really pull up your bootstraps. Both teams in the last half of this series. CLG up 3 rounds. Moving into what might be the easier, might be the harder side of Inferno. Depends really on you as a team.
CLG, they're going to quickly move through mid-choke point. It seems like they'll probably have a commitment here soon. The players that are still down below at T-steps need to be a little bit careful on the cross because Renegades do have an aggressive position established. I'm not sure if it's enough to actually spot the players crossing, but look at this little pincer move they're going to try to do here. Going through arches over to the B-bomb site. It was spotted, though, so they should be able to figure out a way to retake this relatively quickly, or at least the way that they're going to attempt to do it. Yustilo catches finesse, so that was the player that was watching for those rotates coming from A. He's now gone, which is going to make it a little bit dangerous for CLG as they now push to this site. But the B player's well aware of their arrival here. And Naf still trying to hold on. He can't get anything done. Able to skirt out to the side. Does escape with 1 kill at the end of the day, but it's Kusta to trade him back out, and now puts us back down into a 3v2. CLG trying to survive on this site. They haven't even planted the bomb just yet. That should be the priority now, as they know these CTs are arriving relatively quickly, but they've run out of time to be able to do that. So Kusta on this flank, wraps around, finds the first kill, has them stacked up, and with the distraction of Kusta, Ethan is able to pick up one of those 2 remaining kills. Now brings it down to a 1v1, but in the open, no, it was close there, but he does tap onto the headshot and closes out on the round.
Man. Can't mess with the pomp, though. It's on TV. Right.
Very true.
But yeah, can't plant safe as the only B player when one person's in construction. There's no safe way to do that. It's got to be off a read. Sometimes people expect that there's going to be a fake plant so they don't peek right away. And this time it got called out. So Renegade's second lease on life. I've bought up UMPs. They've done this before and lost. Not necessarily on Inferno, but I am weary of going full SMGs, not just even peppering 1 or 2 M4s in. Because number 1, the utility you want to keep to not a minimum, but like, yeah, I guess you do want to keep it to a minimum versus pistols. So the last thing you want is to get killed with a piece of utility out. Sometimes smokes can actually work in the favor of the other team if you don't throw them properly, if they're on the fly. You don't want that to happen. A position like this would benefit greatly from having had an M4 that distance. So it can be running a risk here. Did they spend all their money? Yeah, they pretty much did. It's like, why use all that utility? Why not just get a couple M4s?
And so now we do have CLG getting ready to push themselves over here towards the A site. Probably just going to explode out through mid choke point here as they've got everybody stacked up for it. But hold on there, pushing their players back a little bit. The bomb specifically staying back as they continue to kind of run the clock down. They're not leaving themselves a whole lot of time to explore options in the A site either. As they continue to go for this slow crawl, they're essentially just going to have to explode out and hope for the best, especially now that they have been spotted over here on Rap side. And as they start to move in, well, we're just going to have to see how well they can do on these entries. Ustillo missing the first chance for a kill. He's going to back down, and it'll end up being a 2-for-1 trade. Nifty, though, holding that little secret corner, but he can also only get those 2 kills. Goes down after that, and that brings it down into an even 2v2 post plant as we see these B players arriving from the other side of the map. They also don't have any utility to hold in this post plant. So they're just going to have to walk right up. And again, hope for the best here. Now move in. They find that first player. Nice. Quick kill coming out from JK Aston. One more is needed. They'll work with Naf to get it. Nicely done there. They don't take any risks in the 2v2. They make sure that they clean it up nice and easily and secure that 8th round.
Yeah, well done on the retake at the very least. And since all those kills did come from SMGs, like, and they also didn't forfeit any, which would have made the retake harder, but maybe the retake doesn't happen if you two have somewhat better guns. Either way, Renegades win that round by the skin of their teeth, move on to a round where they know they can now build up a really big bank and rebuy a couple of SMGs. One person has an M4, that's nifty. Couple of kits, and it's farm time. Nafly is going to run down Banana, actually. But I think at some point, when you don't see anybody, you should actually, think twice about that.
Naf moving in. Oh, he has to jump across there, though. We'll get flashed out, but makes it through. He doesn't take any damage, really. CLG are forced back into a corner. Naf is even going to go through the Mexico there to try and see if he can find anyone winning on the other side. Well, Finesse actually does get away with 1 kill, though, but they find him moving outside over there onto the balcony just a couple seconds later, but Enrique catches Naf trying to escape back on the other side.
At no point in history has Nafly's butthole been any tighter.
And so now
you're like, you have to crouch.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, like, oh.
So that puts us back down into another even fight. It's all Deagles for CLG too, so it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility that they could upset here. Along with the fact that the 3rd player from Renegades still has not rotated over from the B site. CLG are going for the harder bomb site here, and that there's still 2 players set up from the CT side. Nifty, however, won't spot any of this until it's too late, and they instantly take out Azure. It's a great response from Nifty. He's got to be careful taking these peeks, though, as the Deagle's going to do much more damage to him if even just 1 bullet connects. It's down to a 2v2. CLG really getting away with something that they should not be getting away with here on this round as well, but they're making it work. And now that B player has arrived, so they should be good to start this retake. Very low on opportunities to mess up, though, but it's the same for the CLG roster, as they need to hit these headshots nice and clean if they want to close out. Cutler not getting lucky with 1 yet, now being spammed down. Ricky gets the kill, but he loses his teammate. And Ricky, even worse, ends up turning his back, so Renegades are able to move in, fully retake the site, and they'll win the round, now tying us up at 9-9.
Okay, nifty, of course. The man to bail the team out. A couple of clean headshots with the M4. Oh, very important. And I was going to say, it just seemed like CLG were at the very minimum going to get a plant, which is nice. They have been, even on these rounds, not quite winning them, maybe coming close, but at least getting the bomb down. So that's the planted, a solid buy right here. We've even got some surplus after losing 3 in a row. And Akusta has the op. So Akusta and Nifty. A matchup that you love to see. Oh, Nifty going to hang out in that Molotov for just a second. Sometimes people get careless, and that's why he did do that. But he is at risk right now.
Naf getting hit by that, too.
Oh, yeah.
So both of them now. Nifty's at like almost less than 10 HP here. He survives with 13, and Naf's at 32. So that pretty much destroys most of the health pool over there at B. And they'll end up swapping Nifty out over here towards the A side as a result of that. He's just going to sit around Rap side and watch Boiler.
Definitely, you'd say the advantage would be to CLG. I think in terms of information, they're not going to be able to guarantee to their team that 2 players are ripped, but they maybe know that at least 1 was, and that was the Opper. CLG taking their time here. Arch smoke goes down. Nobody's pushed up quite yet. We'll see what the response is from the CTs. As there is still a top mid smoke, so there's always that looming threat of, well, are the CTs playing around it? They don't see anything. Bracket gets cleared out.
They attempted to use their first Molotov here, but it actually ended up going right into the smoke, so they wasted it and had to reapply another one towards Boiler. So
it seems like Renegades are doing the same thing that CLG were, or the same thing that they were trying to, that they could exploit. They exploited off of CLG in the first half, have receded into very passive positions. Nifty's in a good spot, kind of, but He's only going to be able to get one shot off, you'd think.
I think that'd be ready to hold. 1-for-1 trade to start. Azure saving the day, but he's going to go down to Kusta now. And only one remains in the site, but he hasn't done anything yet. It's still Nifty.
Oh!
He swings out, gets a quick kill. Problem is Kusta comes in just as fast to take him down. So it's another 2v2 post plant on the A site. And the bomb will just barely make it to the ground.
That was so sick. 2v2 retake. What are the odds here? This is, I would say, low. I mean, they're going to come through clear halls, but they're not actually going to spot anyone here. Walking the whole way.
I mean, waste a lot of time doing that.
Yeah, I mean, people have places to be.
So they're going to walk out towards balcony now. Finesse will check for this. He spotted them. Sees the first player. Gets traded, however, so it's down to the 1v1. Kusta's got it completely blind, though, so he can change positions, duck his head right down there. Just look to waste some more time. Hears him falling down and sees him doing it, too. And once again, like I said, just trying to waste time. But JKS instantly kills him. Did he leave himself enough time to defuse it? I think he just might have done it. And let's see. Yes, he did get it. So the Renegades will win the round. And now they take the lead out of CLG's hands.
Man, if he ran away from that one, I would have got...
Well, this time he commits to it.
Yeah, this time he commits, and he's just got so much conviction in his movement. He knows, I think, when he knows. He understands 5 seconds in his brain. He has that time locked down. Okay, pause called from CLG. So you got to walk this off, I think, for a second. They lost a round by the skin of their teeth. Renegades have taken a lead in this half, or given them the treatment CLG did in the last map. And following up, most importantly, from the pistol into the rifle round, which is what you keep telling your team as in the IGL. You're like, don't worry, boys, we'll get them on the rifle round. When that doesn't come through, you know, so when everyone starts looking around, people's eyes start getting jolting.
And now they're going to have to look for new options here, as they do get the full buy rolling, but it is going to be all AKs. No op to be seen on this T side right now. And we go back into it. We're live once again, so let's take a look and see if CLG can strike back now after this pause, or if they're just going to find themselves being broken once more. At the very least, they're getting plants almost every single round so far. The only round they didn't get a plant so far was the pistol.
Yeah, plants are, if you keep a surplus, you know, it's like a buy every single round, like 2 plants following each other, one where you don't spend all your money. That's not a buy safe situation. That's like literally 2 equivalent chances to win the round. That's not like a janky force up at all. They've had all the AKs they want. Slate nade down banana, is it any good? It looks to have done some damage. And JKS calling out the push. Very nicely done, but Ethan with the hot trade. And the smoke actually gets exploited from logs. Naf gonna sit up here by himself. Has a fast rotate, but wow, man, this dude is brave. And he's gonna go peek again. I like the call out.
They're waiting for him though. Now he's gonna fall back and retreat into the site.
If he had waited any longer and Kusta had fallen all the way off B, that would have been a fair bit of information gained by the Renegades. But because Kusta stayed a little bit longer, stayed alive, it's denied the ability to go for that.
And so now that keeps us into an even 4v4. CLG are going to be creeping up towards the A site, getting ready for a quick execute out this site too. So it's probably full commitment. There's not going to be enough time to reverse this if it goes badly. However, both the CTs that are here playing very much together for the most part. You've got one sitting inside of Pit and another waiting in a very similar position right up on top. And he's even going to crouch back down too, because he doesn't think there's going to be enough action coming out of the balcony this time around. There actually is going to be a player trying to enter from there. That'll be Finesse, but he's going to be the lone one. Everybody else is coming in from mid choke point. They are leaving themselves with no time to get this execute done, however. Nifty sits here, but he's completely blind. He's not able to see those players. He's going to have to peek back out again. Finds the shot, but they escape to the site. They've got the bomb on there. Nifty, now alone, tries to go for the no-scope. He's able to retreat behind the wall, swings out again. The cavalry has arrived, though. Naf rotates back in and gets that kill from outside and leaves these T's no time to plan, and also kills them after the round. So takes him down. Kastan once again hugging his teammate there.
That's nifty. He's so proud of a kid. And yeah, I mean, he was insane there. Stayed alive in Pit, which is the #1 goal. Like getting kills or not. If you're the Pit guy, if you can stay alive, it's so tense for this T's on the site when they bet the bomb down. They know that someone's sitting in the most prime after plant spot possible, and it's really hard to kill them in. And they've got an op. But not only does he do that, but he gets 3 kills to complement it. So takes a lot of stress off his team. No retake necessary. Renegades win a very important round. NCLG didn't get a plant because they let that timer bleed down to the point that they couldn't safely find a way to at least get the bomb down, and now are on pistols.
Renegades are also slowly getting better at these rounds too, making sure that they close them in cleaner ways, because pretty much every round in this half has been actually a relatively close round with Renegades. That round right there was actually the best round Renegades have had yet, because they win it with 3 players. Every other round in the half so far, they've won it with 2 or 1 player left alive. So they've had 0 chance to build up an economy. Now, finally putting CLG back down onto an eco, they should have an opportunity to build up this money and fortify themselves a little bit better, because they are still in a kind of dangerous spot right now.
Passive setup on A. 3 focusing on halls and lane. No one's here to peek it. Nifty to watch Boiler. But again, they've actually Renegades have overstacked A, and I don't know how they know that that's okay, and they're right about it. But I don't even think they'll need more than 3 bodies to hold. However, they're in pretty decent spots. Pressure on Ustillo though. Oh, the flash aggression into halls. He's gonna spot the bomb as well.
Well, he will go down after the initial kill. Obviously, there's going to be plenty more players watching this. You can hear a lot of dink sounds coming out here as ASTRO just tries to survive. He goes down. It's on Nifty again to save the day, as the site is getting overwhelmed. He's onto his pistol, but he can't survive long enough. And what's even worse is Naf goes down, trying to push directly through the smoke. It's a CLG round here, more than likely, unless JKS can pull off a heroic 1v3. He'll push back in, spots the player over here at Graveyard, instantly headshots him upon moving back out. Sees another one cross. He's got to be careful with his ammo count, though. He doesn't have any room to retreat back and reload currently. So he's basically got just that magazine. Then he has to switch over to the pistol. Missed off shot's gonna let him move forward a little bit more, but he can't get the second kill done. Finesse shuts it down, and it's CLG stealing a round right out of Renegade's hands.
Okay, so listen, like when there's a round like that, you'd say, oh, well, what did the other team do wrong? And it seemed like Renegades were in pretty good spots. They even had that flash to re-peek into halls. It was totally safe. They got info, but there were so many headshots from CLG that round that it's hard to say that they didn't earn that. Like, they got out onto the site perfectly. They waited for a second flash in halls after the Graveyard guy was dinked and blind, and then they got out, traded him out, so the patience was good, the spacing was great, they were explosive. They made that as hard as possible for Renegades to hold. And if Renegades had stayed there with 4 players a little bit longer, maybe they would have had a chance, but it's pretty nice they were able to kill all 3 and win in that after plan.
Wow, laser focus from Nifty here too, as he just comes swinging out of nowhere to finish off that kill in that finesse. He'd already seen him before and heard him too, obviously, but he wanted that other kill onto the player that was top alt mid first. Now Renegade's looking for revenge here.
What a guy, just gives up the AK too. He still's like, oh, you sure you don't want that AK? He's like, what kid got 2 kills this round?
So I'll hand that over, and now Kusta was able to fall back. He's going to be joined by the rest of his teammates here. As they will look to push back up into that A site, they're going to directly challenge where they just lost 2 of their own players, primarily because 1, they need to get the bomb back. And 2, they're getting a little bit low on time here. Ricky moving forward as you see the player near the doorway. He's making a lot of noise over here too, but he's been doing the same exact thing. He's actually able to find Nifty back out. Continuing to spam and almost finds 1 more player, but Naf is the one to respond next, along with Ustillo, and the Renegades do shut it down. They take back control once again and do the same thing to CLG that CLG just did to them on the previous round.
CLG immediately call for their 3rd pause of the map. And this is a tough pill to swallow. I mean, Nifty's so nuts here with that deagle. They push through halls, they break their defaults open, and it was pretty much off of a YOLO push. Like they were trying to get whatever damage they could in, end up winning the round. And CLG's money's in a place where they are going to get reset, and if they get reset, that means a free 14 rounds for Renegades. The worst round possible for CLG could have lost there, because that was like they reset Renegades. They forced them into a save or a force, and then they could have got another round to build up banks, so they can't get reset themselves. Ended up losing on that round. Now have bought 2 AKs, 2 CZs, a deagle, armor on everybody, some nades, but Renegades have a much better buy, and if they win this round, I mean, this game might be over. Like, CLG absolutely need this.
That could very well secure it for the Renegades if they can take control of what could be this last big force buy coming in from CLG, or at least...
They get match point, pretty much.
Yeah, they have match point to contest it, and then obviously that's when they're going to win 5 rounds straight, which I'm not sure if anyone has done yet in this game. Actually, well, Renegades did it just now, but that was with the pistol helping them out there, so that's a little bit easier to build up a stack. CLG once again taking things very slowly at the beginning, not going to try to force their hand and take any additional risks here.
They have been able to clear out halls, and they've done it already, and they haven't had to use a lot of utility. Honestly, great opportunity to do that exact same eco round they did on the previous that explode. They've got CZs, that's high mobility. The AKs this time to back it up to make it even more convincing.
Renegades in general, though, holding much more aggressive positions than we saw in that last round before. They were kind of held back, and they let CLG execute out on the site. This time, they're trying to play it forward a little bit more. We can see a one-for-one trade at Banana. That's going to end the action at Banana for the rest of this round, though, and there's where the aggression comes in. Azur sneaks up, gets the kill. Nifty actually missing this swing, so he's going to be traded now. Cutler takes him down. That brings us back into a 3v3 with the T's fully executing onto the site. He's still looking for something, but we are going to have to see Azur do most of the heavy lifting, as now he's lost Ustillo, but Azur, beautifully done, somehow got both of those kills back to back. Look at Kasat.
Dude, what the heck? He's going to run out of emotions for his teammates.
We need to see that again. Let's look at this.
Wait, what?
Bam, and then, whoa.
Wow.
Very well played by him there to close out.
When I grow up, I want to be just like that guy.
So that's broken CLG completely now, and basically the worst fears for CLG have been realized. Unless they can somehow upset on 1 Deagle and 4 Glocks, Renegades will go up 14-10.
They will, yeah. I mean, you can say that with conviction. CLG know it, Renegades know it. I mean, they might, I don't know why Ethan feels like he can buy a Deagle here, but I guess it's because they're definitely planning on saving next round. 2-3 round lot, maybe they'll try to put it together, but if they are, don't buy a Deagle here. This is not, there's no point in trying to pick away at Renegade's economy. This is the time to make sure you win the next round. So $700 out of your pocket, maybe an off the table, potential. I mean, I don't think you would do it no armor, but you know, just limiting your options.
Nifty goes in, had a free shot, but unpeaked just a little bit too soon, so it ends up hitting him through the wall. Won't find a full connection, and he even gets tagged a little bit while falling back too. Bit of a peak battle here, finds him in the open again. Ustillo in the meanwhile did pick up that first kill, but finally Nifty succeeds in knocking out Finesse here. And just a matter of knocking out the remaining stragglers trying to push onto the site. They see one at Cubby. Oh, Ricky actually takes him down with the Glock in hand. Ustillo with his additional 2 kills though, that does secure the round for the Renegades, and there we go. There's that 14-10 scoreline.
Okay. And yeah, okay, they have enough money here. They didn't even get a plant. The 3-round loss is enough with the full save. A little bit of miscalculation, and they will be able to stave off match point potentially. They do on the next round as well. They'll have enough money for something. Everyone buying down to 0. This is the last thing they want though, and they've only won 1 round in this half. I mean, history would tell you they're destined to lose this round. CLG backs against this wall, backs against the wall in this tournament.
And facing elimination with just 2 more rounds lost. So they need to come together here and find a way to bounce back. It's the same exact thing that happened to Renegades on the previous map, only Renegades were not at risk just yet. Now they are, and they have to show up here. Make sure that they close out on what could be our final big gun round of the map. CLG looks like they're actually going to finally try to pressure towards B gun. It's been a while. It's been like 5-6 rounds maybe since we've seen CLG actually try to play for actual B control here. So
that's not good.
As they move in, yup, JKS has an easy corner position. Good trade from Kusta, but he's still stuck behind that smoke. Naf is going to play safely here. He's just going to fall back to the site. He should get at least 1 player rotating over to him, but Renegades are not entirely convinced that this is going to be pressure towards B just yet. Now we start to see that, though. After a couple seconds of not seeing anything push towards A, they're going to cheat 2 players over here, but the problem is CLG did switch the hit up. They did end up deciding to go over here towards A instead, so that leaves only Nifty to defend it, and that's an open ticket to walk right into A. Easy plat for them. Renegades might not even attempt to retake it because they've also got a man disadvantage to play off of here. They might just sit in B and save.
Yeah, nicely done. They did a small thing. They actually somehow avoided the scope on 3 different choke points from Nifty, who were able to see kind of down mid into halls. And because of that, just gave them a false sense of security. And, you know, like, look at that. Even though they test bottom banana and they don't actually win it, just because they tested it, it pushed the CTs back into the site. Going 1 for 1 for JKS was probably very fortunate. Kusta, I think, was smoke blind, or it looked like it. So very lucky to get that kill, but they didn't get it. And then they pulled the hard rotate out and picked the right site to go to. So very well played. A 2nd round in this half, and it couldn't have come at a more critical moment. CLG now 3 rounds of difference. Will perpetually have enough money to buy until it all comes crashing to a halt. So at least we'll get to see like a fully kitted attempt at another T round in this half. It seems like it would be unlikely, but we've also seen a consistent pattern of the other team adapting later in the half.
And then trading out these rounds too.
Right.
So This could be the one that decides it's CLG potentially getting reset or Renegades falling short here and letting CLG come back before Renegades even get up to map point 2. Renegades don't even have overtime guarantee just yet. They still need at least the one more round to get at least to that safety net here. Well, we're just going to have to wait and see if they can get past that point. A much more aggressive stance being taken this time by the Renegades too, as they once again stack these two players over here at Porch and have another one watching for the long haul entry out through A apartments. CLG, though, are very much favoring the B hit again. They're going to send their players up here, and this time there is no resistance at all coming out from the Renegades. They hold two players on the site. They'll go for the smoke on it now as the T's are starting to use their own utility to get inside. These are two very open positions, however, for these Renegades players to take up, so...
Renegades kind of have a half-ass setup right now. They're peeking at mid, but you know that triple port setup like relies on someone having boosted up. They aren't watching in case they get smoked out lane. Lane control could mean ASTRO could die. It could mean that they're able to wrap. They haven't split B and they haven't shown they've done it, so it makes sense they are not necessarily watching it, but a lot of pressure on him to get these kills. He can't do it, and he just goes down for free.
Nifty's going to fall back. He does get out of there before they peek it, but they do see him, however, as he re-peeks that on an attempt. Yustillo, however, picking up an additional kill, does bring their numbers down, and CLG once again get to change the hit up, but Renegades read into it this time. They see that there's no additional pressure due to a peek from someone on the A site there, so they're going to bring these two players back. They will have presence this time to successfully defend it, but it's only going to be two, and they're going to be very split up. So
oh my God.
They're going for the double. Are they even going to have enough time for this is the question.
This is not pretty at all.
They're going to get to the site with like 10 seconds left here, and if anyone trades them, it's a high likelihood that they don't leave themselves enough time to get the plant. There we go. First player drop. Nifty ready to take more of a battle. He's still helping it out, but he's dead now. However, Nifty's still distracting, moving in. He's wasting enough time. They're not getting that plant. It's a shot in midair to end it as he takes down Kusta, and that puts Renegades up to 15 rounds. One more to go, and they move into tomorrow.
Damn, dude. That was kind of gross from CLG, though, I gotta say. That was not the best way to run that round, and they definitely have these rounds where they have panic rotation, but what a freaking round from Nifty. Those 3 kills. He didn't even have to do it. Even styled on him. Wow.
Last pause is going to be used by CLG here. They saved it all the way to potentially the last round.
They're going to need phone a friend. They're going to need other lifelines, I think, at this point. They got so scared by that one Molotov on lane. Went all the way to B.
And then didn't even commit to it. They didn't even peek. They got up to car and then just decided, no, we're going to go back.
Yeah.
I don't even think that either CT's not sighted through nades. There was like the smoke that got tossed. But
it's bad, indecisive calling. They do it a lot.
So we have to wait and see here now. Renegades with a chance to close it out, but CLG still getting kind of decent buy, at least considering the circumstances anyway. 2 pistols and 3 rifles along with utility for every player, so at least they can set something up. But they're going to need to come forward with strong entry power here. They can't get traded out so often as they have been in these past couple of rounds here. If they can get an early 5v4, it's exactly what they need to build on. Potentially win this to keep them in the game. But now they need to run 4 straight, and they can't make a single mistake along the way.
How do they approach it? JKS boosted up top banana. Good nade to take Nifty down a notch. Put him in his place a little bit. JKS knows that they're going to be spamming. They might come through the smoke. They've done it before. The refresh is out. Molotov in response. He doesn't have an opponent here quite yet. Flashes out. Teammate right behind him. I don't know if he's got anything primed. No, he doesn't have any nades. But they're jumping through. Gets some damage off. Realizes that he can't fight anymore. And they recede into the site. CLG have successfully taken banana.
Yeah, everyone is going to end up falling back and away from that fight. Just waiting up on the site now. And Nifty's been allowed to push all the way towards the balcony there, so he's going to be able to see that there's nothing in mid for the most part here. Now they have to get ready for the hit, though, and Naf just a platform. Nobody's watching him. Look at this getting away with so many kills right now. Another smoke goes off on top of CLG. Ethan finally trades, but ASTRO comes right back in to take his place. One player remains on CLG to try and save the day here. It's going to be all on Ethan to clutch it. He gets site control, but he's already low. He's already down at 33 HP. Give 11 HP to each player here, but no, it's not going to happen. ASTRO shuts him down, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We have another semifinalist. It's going to be the Renegades that take it 16-11, and with that, they get to move on into the playoff bracket tomorrow.
Absolutely well done by the Renegades. Looking like a much better team in that second half. CLG definitely making some obvious mistakes, but huge individual plays, especially from the likes of Nifty, with that off, making a case for himself as one of the top operators in North America. Fantastic stuff. And And yeah, overall, very exciting end to it as it seemed very close up until those very last few rounds.
Yeah, it's the T side that kills it for them at the end of the day, as we were seeing there, just a couple kind of last second decisions in the round that never really ended up working out in their favor, especially in that second last round there too, the one that ended up putting the Renegades up to their 15th round. Just some poor decisions there, and unfortunately ended up costing them quite a few times. In both halves, really, we saw that mistakes made.
And we can definitely kind of see how both teams didn't want to get that far, to get to Inferno, and they really would have liked them just being able to set up for their, just like their little executes on one side of the map and get away with it. But as soon as they learned they couldn't do that, tried a little bit harder, and that ended up working out, but CLG is just coming to the party a little bit too late.
Yeah, and now they're going to have to go home and kind of learn on this experience, try to grow from that once again.
Going home.
Yeah, unfortunate here as they do go home just short of the semifinals. But for Renegades, this is a big win for them, and as such, we do have an interview with those big winners themselves. Let's send it up to the stage for an interview with one of the members of the Renegades.
Nifty, I know you have a Justin Savage on your team, but that performance by you on Inferno was nothing less than savage. Dude, what was happening?
I was all right. You know, I was really just getting into the groove of things, honestly. I mean, we were very calm, and we played the game really well. We played it together as well, and nobody gave up at all that third map.
Overall, did you think the series played out the way you guys had planned, or was it a bit different?
No, to be honest, I mean, I knew that Cobble was going to be a little bit more of a challenge just because we already played CLG on that map like 4 times before this event and even once here already. But third map was a little bit surprising, but I honestly did think that we were going to 2-0 them. So.
And so in this series, give us a bit of intel on the role of Kassad, because looking at it from a our perspective, he seems to be more invested than ever. A lot of emotional reactions when plays are being made, etc.
You know, he's certainly a coach that's all for the team, you know. He sacrifices everything for the team. He's really good at talking to us in our timeouts and in between maps as well, and kind of getting our heads back in it. Whether you want to accept that or not, you know, it depends on how frustrated you are, I suppose. But no, he's really good at his job. I mean, but everyone has things to work on, and that's what we're doing right now as a team. We're trying to evolve, trying to take that next step and be able to compete with the top of teams of NA and just move up together.
And at this point in your career, Noah, how do you feel about your own performance? Do you still get any nerves when you're playing in front of a crowd? Because when the match was going on, there were a lot of people watching, and you know there were a lot of people online.
You know, I wouldn't really say nerves as if there's like a lot of people watching, but the only time I feel just uncomfortable is when we're not really playing our game and we're not really playing together. You know, I don't really feel comfortable in those times to go and do what I do best, you know. But nerves from like crowds and stuff like that, no, not really. I haven't really gotten the opportunity to play in front of a huge crowd yet. Still waiting for that day to come, and I'm coming after it, so.
Awesome, keep working on it. Final thing then, we of course have to touch upon what you're going to be doing tomorrow, and that is entering the semi-finals and playing against Big.
You know, it's really interesting. We've never played Big. We've only scrimmed them a couple times when we were in Europe, so we know that they're a good team. You know, they work well together, and I mean, we're hoping to put up a really good match for the spectators and hopefully come out with a win. So.
There we go. Best of luck. Have a good rest this evening. You deserve it. Congratulate your team and everything. Any final words?
No, just thank you to Renegade supporters, everything. Aussie fans are the best. Peace out, guys.
Yeah, we have like a little Australian contingent over there. We have a flag and everything. Big up the crowd. Stick around. We have another best of 3 to come, and that goes for everybody watching at home as well. Trez, over to you.
Thanks, Paul. That's quite a nifty fellow there, wouldn't you say, boys?
I see what you did there. A terrible pun.
Hey, you know what? Whatever. The guy has skill, and it is what it is. You saw him all over the A site, just moving around, getting it done. Guys, what do we have to say about this Renegades?
Yeah, I mean, that was a monstrous performance there on Inferno. I mean, they pretty much just put up a brick wall that CLG could not get around in the second half of Inferno. I think they only got 1 round on their T side, right? I mean, Nifty had a massive game there in the third map. I think he had 27 kills, or he was nearing up there towards 30. He was doing it in close range situations, fast-paced flick shots, you know, situations where it can sometimes be really hard to be an opper. He got put in some sticky situations, and he found his way out of a lot of them, particularly inside that A-bomb site. Just great stuff for him. I know he had a slower series up until that point, but he really showed up when they needed him.
Yeah, and on Inferno, he got a lot of help from JKS and his clutches early on. You know, it looked like CLG was actually gonna, you know, close out the game. They were getting the early picks, getting the bomb sites, getting the post plants was a big man advantage, and then JKS would just come in and ruin their day. I think he had 2, a 1v2 and a 1v3 maybe, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been just 2 1v2s, but I mean, he really set up Renegades to win that map 3, and then Nifty just took over and blew him away. As for the first 2 maps, I mean, you got to give a lot of props to AZR. he was amazing, especially on Mirage.
Oh, yeah.
Same situation. CLG would be up in numbers, 5v3s, etc., and then AZR would just totally wreck them and pick them apart.
Yeah, absolutely. Even looking at Azure stats across the entirety of the best of 3, we see him coming out at an 82.8 ADR, highest on the team, but definitely looking at the frags that he was grabbing, certainly impactful. We can load up the stats right here and take a look. Guys, what do you see?
Yeah, I mean, a silent hero there was actually Naf. I mean, we haven't mentioned him yet, but he actually had really good ADR throughout the entire series. I think it was like a little over 90 for the entire series. He was definitely putting in work. Definitely want to point that one out as well. I also want to point out that I feel like there was a couple of games where like some of the stars that CLG needed were a little bit more quiet, especially when you have guys like Azza popping off, Nas doing his job. You had Nifty with the big game on Inferno. You know, some of the guys from CLG have to really step up to the plate. I thought Cutler actually stepped to the plate throughout this series. I know that he's had a tougher time at different periods with CLG. You know, he's not the same guy that he was back in 2015. He was just like a rock for this team, but I thought he looked pretty good in this series, and he's looked a little bit better recently for CLG. And I will give CLG props. I mean, they grinded on Cobblestone. I mean, they won 10 rounds in that second half to come back and take it and force the third map. So at least they were showing us a little bit more fight than the struggles we saw, you know, obviously yesterday against Renegades, and then the sloppiness against Tempo Storm Brazil. It was a grind of his series, man. I mean, Mirage, the first map, was probably the closest map we had the whole tournament. I mean, there was like 8-7, 8-6 halves. I mean, not many winning streaks going on. So it was a grind throughout this series for Renegades to take it.
I mean, even over on the Counter Logic Gaming side, you can't discount Ricky, right? I mean, he showed up big in this best of 3, albeit not to mount up to a W at the end of the day, but still something to not hold your head over.
Yeah, and I pointed that out before the game. They really needed Ricky to step up, and I think he did. And surprisingly, as you mentioned, on piggyback off the Cutler comment, I think Finesse actually fragged very well in this series, and I thought the old guard of CLG did well. Kusta unfortunately let them down, but it was, you know, I think the one takeaway I have from this is both of these teams have to work on anti-ecos. They are, I can't count on both hands how many times these guys got anti-ecoed or got close to losing it. It was abysmal in that department. But as far as head-to-head on gun rounds, I thought it was super exciting. A lot of back-and-forth action. It was a good series.
It was certainly a good series, and ultimately slingshotting a team forward to the semifinals now. And that team joining our already established semifinalist will be the Renegades. Guys, are we surprised?
No, I mean, I think Renegades were the slight favorite going into it. Whenever you think about head-to-head record, you think about what you saw yesterday, and you just kind of consider all that together. And I think the other thing to really talk about here is that Renegades should be going into the semifinals feeling pretty good about it. I mean, Big is not like some monster that there's really going to be too hard for them to topple over. I mean, yeah, sure, Big played well against Mouse Sports yesterday, but they've had their struggles offline since the major. And I think that Renegades should be going into that best of 3 thinking that they have a really good chance to pull that one off. Like, it's not like some tall mountain to climb. I think that they should be on about an even level with them firepower-wise overall, man for man. It may be a little bit more tactical basis there with Gabi on Big, but I think that Renegades can run a good game plan, so I think that should be a decent series.
Well, the Renegades are slotted up to play against Big next in the semifinals. Not today. That will be tomorrow. They are our first semifinal match tomorrow. The next match, however, will be Mouse Sports versus LDLC, and the winner will go on to play Cloud9 in the semis. But, you know, I think it's time I give you guys just a little bit of insight about Sliver.tv. You can earn free coins, you can pick a winner, and you can get some free skins. Why don't we go ahead and head over there, check it out, how it all works.
Watch CS:GO and win free prizes. First, sign up with Steam. Then, as you watch